You.
Mafia boss stated when the waitress tried
Where do you
leaving
think
his
you're going?
house. Isla's hand was on the door handle when his voice cut through the silence like a gunshot. She froze, every muscle in her body locking up, her heart slamming against her ribs. The emerald dress she'd borrowed clung to her skin, suddenly feeling like a
Where do you think you're
beacon
going?
screaming her guilt. She'd been so close. 5 more seconds, and she would have been out, gone, free from this impossible situation before she made a complete fool of herself. That dress isn't leaving this house. Ronan's voice was deadly calm, the kind of calm that preceded violence. And neither are you.
Where do you think you're going?
Like and comment below if you think she should have run faster. Isla turned slowly, her borrowed heels clicking against marble, and found Ronan Cross standing at the base of the grand staircase. He looked like he just rolled out of bed. Black pants, half-buttoned shirt, dark hair disheveled. But his eyes were fully alert, sharp as broken glass, and absolutely furious. I left a note. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted, and she hated herself for it. A note. He started walking toward her with that predatory grace that made her stomach flip. You're going to disappear from my home with just a note after everything I've done for you? 2 weeks. That's how long she'd been here. 2 weeks since Ronan rescued her from Tyler's apartment, where she'd been bleeding out on the floor, convinced she was going to die. 2 weeks since this dangerous, powerful man had made her ex-boyfriend vanish off the face of the earth. 2 weeks of living in luxury she didn't deserve, being cared for by a man she had no business developing feelings for. I can't stay here forever. Isla forced steel into her spine, lifted her chin. I'm healed enough. I need to get back to my life. Your life? Ronan stopped 2 feet away, and the barely controlled fury radiating off him made her breath catch. The apartment Tyler knows about? The job where anyone could find you? You think 2 weeks is enough time for this to be over? Tyler's gone. You made sure of that. Tyler had friends, family, people who might want answers about where he disappeared to. His voice dropped lower, more dangerous. People who know you were the last person with him. Then I'll deal with it. She was lying, and they both knew it. I can't hide in your mansion forever playing princess while I what? He stepped closer, invading her space. While I make sure you're safe. While I ensure the man who nearly killed you can't touch you again. While I give you time to heal without looking over your shoulder every 5 seconds. Why do you even care? The question exploded out of her. I'm nobody. Just a waitress you helped out of pity. Pity. He repeated the word like it offended him. You think I did this out of pity? Why else would you? Isla felt tears burning behind her eyes and blinked them back furiously. Why else would someone like you give a damn about someone like me? Ronan's jaw clenched so hard she heard his teeth grind. Someone like you is brave enough to survive 6 months of hell with that monster. Smart enough to know when to call for help. Strong enough to still be standing after he broke 3 of your ribs and nearly shattered your face. So don't you dare diminish yourself in my house. The words hit her like a physical blow. She'd been diminishing herself for so long it had become automatic. Tyler had spent months convincing her she was worthless, that no one else would want her damaged goods, that she should be grateful he tolerated her at all. And that dress. Ronan's gaze raked over her, hot enough to scorch. Looks like it was made for you. So no, it's not leaving this house. And neither are you. Not until we talk about why you're really running. I'm not running. The lie tasted bitter. Then what do you call sneaking out at dawn in a borrowed dress with your shoes in your hand? Isla's fingers tightened on those shoes. She'd found the emerald dress in the guest room closet, probably left behind by some previous woman who actually belonged in Ronan's world. She put it on thinking it would give her courage, make her feel less like the broken waitress she was. Instead, she just felt like a fraud playing dress-up. I can't think clearly here. She admitted, the truth scraping her throat raw. I can't think clearly around you. Something shifted in Ronan's expression, the fury banking into something more intense, more focused. Around me? She wanted to take it back, swallow the words, rebuild her walls. But they were already out there, hanging in the air between them like a confession. Forget it. Isla turned back toward the door, desperate to escape before she said something even more humiliating. Just let me go. I'll figure something out. Not happening. He was behind her now, close enough that she felt his heat, smelled his cologne, cedar and smoke and danger. Not until you explain what you meant. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. His voice softened just slightly, and that gentleness was worse than his anger. Everything about you matters to me. That. Isla spun to face him, emotions finally breaking free. That's the problem. You can't say things like that. You can't look at me the way you do. You can't be so careful with me, so protective, so perfect, because I'm already falling for you, and I know it's just trauma. I know it's my brain confusing safety with love. But I can't stay here feeling this way when I know it's not real. Who said it's not real? Ronan's eyes locked on hers, and the intensity there stole her breath. Come on. She laughed, the sound edged with pain. You rescued me. It's textbook. The damsel falls for her hero. It'll pass once I get distance and perspective. And if it doesn't, it will. She wrapped her arms around herself, suddenly freezing despite the dress. It has to. Why? He stepped closer again, eliminating the space she'd created. Why does it have to? Because you don't actually want me. Her voice cracked on the words. You feel responsible for me. There's a difference. Don't tell me what I feel. The anger was back, but different now. Hotter, more personal. Then what do you feel? The question burst out before she could stop it. Because I'm so confused, Ronan. You check on me constantly. You have doctors treat my injuries. You bring me food and make sure I'm comfortable. But you don't. She stopped, frustrated with herself. You keep me at arm's length while refusing to let me leave. Do you know why I gave you my number 8 months ago? The abrupt change in direction threw her. What? That night at the restaurant. I'd only seen you twice before, but I gave you my private number. Do you know why? Because you're nice to your employees? I'm not nice to anyone. His voice was flat, honest. I gave it to you because even then I saw the fear in your eyes. The way you flinched when men got too close. The bruises you tried to hide with makeup. I knew someone was hurting you, and it made me want to burn the world down. Isla's breath caught in her throat. I've been waiting 8 months for you to call. Ronan continued, each word deliberate, hoping you would. Terrified you wouldn't call until it was too late. When you finally did, when I heard your voice so broken and scared, I've never moved faster in my life. You saved me. She whispered. I did what anyone with a conscience would do. No. She shook her head. You did more than that. Tyler's family is connected. Making him disappear put you at risk, and you did it anyway. For you. The words were fierce, absolute. I'd do it again. I'd do worse. Why? Isla demanded. If this is just responsibility, if I'm just another person you're protecting, why does it feel like more? Because it is more. Ronan closed the final distance between them, his hands coming up to frame her face with a gentleness that contradicted everything she knew about him. It's been more since the first time I saw you smile at me while taking my order. This genuine, warm smile despite whatever hell you were going home to. And I thought, that's the strongest person I've ever met. Isla's world tilted. 8 months. He'd been watching her, waiting for her, caring about her for 8 months while she suffered through Tyler's escalating abuse, thinking she was completely alone. I kept you at arm's length these 2 weeks because I didn't want to be another man who took advantage of you when you were vulnerable. Ronan's thumbs brushed her cheekbones, his touch achingly gentle. I didn't want you to confuse gratitude with something else. But Isla, what I feel for you has nothing to do with rescue or responsibility. Then what is it? Her voice barely made it past her lips. It's the fact that you make me laugh. That you argued with my chef about the proper way to make pasta. That you've been reading in the library and reorganizing my books by color because the alphabetical system annoyed you. His voice dropped lower, more intimate. It's the way you're brave enough to try sneaking out of here because you think you're protecting me from making a mistake. I am protecting you. Tears spilled over, hot against her cheeks. I have nothing to offer you. I'm broken and poor and damaged in. You have everything I want. Ronan's forehead touched hers, and Isla felt something crack open in her chest. Your strength, your kindness, your terrible jokes, and your stubborn pride, and the way you hum while reading. I don't need you to offer me anything except yourself. But I'm not enough. The words were barely a whisper. I'm not sophisticated or connected or any of the things someone like you should want. Stop. His voice went hard. Stop deciding for me what I should want. I know what I want. And she's standing in front of me in an emerald dress, trying to run away because she's too scared to believe this is real. What if it's too fast? Isla's hands came up to grip his wrists, anchoring herself. What if we're both just confused and emotional, and then we figure out together? Ronan pulled back just enough to look in her eyes. But please, don't run from this. From us. Give me a chance to prove this isn't trauma or gratitude. It's real, Isla. What I feel for you is real. She searched his face, looking for doubt or uncertainty or anything that would confirm her fears. But all she found was raw honesty, this dangerous man looking at her like she was the most important thing in his entire world. Okay. The word came out shaky, terrified. Okay, I'll stay. Relief crashed over his features so visibly it took her breath away. He pulled her into his arms, holding her like she was precious and breakable and essential all at once. Thank you. They stood there in the foyer for a long moment, just breathing together, Isla's face pressed against his chest while his heart hammered beneath her ear. She'd been so convinced she needed a run, so sure staying would only lead to heartbreak. But wrapped in his arms, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. And the dress? She asked against his shirt. His laugh rumbled through her. Definitely staying. You look incredible. It's not even mine. It is now. Everything here is yours if you want it. He pulled back enough to look at her. Starting with me. The next few weeks were different. Ronan kept his promise about not rushing, but the energy between them shifted. No more careful distance. No more pretending they were just benefactor and rescued woman. They talked for hours about his sister Elena who died because he couldn't save her, about Isla's mother who'd abandoned her when she was 12, about dreams and fears, and all the broken pieces that made them who they were. Isla learned that Ronan wasn't just a crime boss. He ran legitimate businesses too, invested in real estate, funded community programs in struggling neighborhoods. He was complex and contradictory and trying to build something better than the violence that had raised him. But the outside world didn't stop just because they'd found each other. 3 weeks after the morning Isla tried to leave, Ronan's head of security came to him with news. Tyler's brother was asking questions, making threats, building a case against Ronan for his brother's disappearance. You need to tell me everything about Tyler's connections. Ronan said that evening. They were in his office, Isla curled up in the leather chair across from his desk. I need to know what we're dealing with. Isla had been dreading this. His brother Jackson runs some kind of import business. I don't know details, but Tyler used to brag about family connections, about how untouchable they were. Ronan's expression went dark, dangerous. Jackson Hayes. I know of him. Drug trafficking disguised as legitimate shipping operations. Drugs? Isla sat up straighter. Tyler never said. Tyler never told you anything real. Ronan's voice gentled slightly. You were just the girlfriend who made him look stable and normal while he did whatever illegal work his brother needed. The words hurt because they were true. She'd been so blind, so desperate to believe Tyler loved her that she'd ignored every red flag. Until the red flags turned into fists and she ended up bleeding on her apartment floor. You're safe here. Ronan moved around the desk to kneel in front of her chair, taking her hands. Jackson can dig all he wants. He won't get to you, but he'll come after you. She gripped his fingers. Because of me. Because you made Tyler disappear. Let him try. The cold fury in Ronan's voice sent shivers down her spine. I've dealt with worse than Jackson Hayes. I don't want you hurt because of me. This isn't on you. He brought her hands to his lips, kissed her knuckles. Tyler made his choices. Jackson is making his. You're just the woman I'm choosing to protect. Choosing to love. The word hung between them. Love. They hadn't said it yet, had been dancing around it for weeks. But hearing it now, in the context of danger and threats, made it feel even more real. Say that again. Isla whispered. I love you. Ronan's eyes held hers, steady and sure. I'm in love with you, Isla, and I will burn down anyone who tries to hurt you. Before she could respond, before she could say the words back, gunfire erupted outside. The sound of automatic weapons shattered the moment. Ronan immediately pushed Isla to the floor behind the desk. His body covering hers as glass from the window exploded inward. Stay down. His voice was pure command as he pulled a gun from his desk drawer. Security flooded into the office within seconds. The shooting stopped as quickly as it started, but the message was clear. Jackson Hayes wasn't just asking questions anymore. He was declaring war. Pack a bag. Ronan told Isla once his men confirmed the shooters were gone. We're leaving. Where? Somewhere safer. His penthouse downtown, heavily secured. I'm not taking chances with your life. This is my fault. Isla's voice shook as Ronan pulled her to her feet. Jackson wouldn't be attacking you if I hadn't called you that night. If you hadn't saved me. Don't. The word came out sharp as a blade. Don't you dare finish that sentence. Jackson is attacking because he's a violent criminal who doesn't like being challenged. This has nothing to do with you. But everything has to do with me. She grabbed his shirt. Tyler targeted me because I was weak. Jackson is targeting you because of me. I'm the problem. You're not weak, and you're not the problem. Ronan gripped her shoulders. You survived, Tyler. You called for help. You're still standing. That's strength, not weakness. People are getting hurt. No one got hurt today. His voice softened slightly. My men are trained for this. And Jackson made a strategic error attacking my home. Now I know exactly how desperate he is. What are you going to do? Isla searched his face, seeing the dangerous man everyone else feared. In this, the finality in his tone was absolute. Jackson crossed a line, bringing violence to my doorstep, threatening someone I love. There are consequences for that. The penthouse was all glass and steel, modern and cold compared to the warmth of Ronan's mansion. Isla stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows, watching the city lights blur below, feeling like she was trapped in a beautiful cage. 20 stories up, surrounded by armed security, separated from the life she'd been building with Ronan by violence she'd brought into his world. This is my fault, she said when Ronan joined her at the window. Jackson wouldn't be attacking you if I hadn't existed. If I just died in that apartment like Tyler wanted. Don't ever say that again. Ronan's voice went lethal. Don't even think it. But it's true. She turned to face him. Tyler targeted me because I was nobody. Easy to control, easy to break. And now his brother is trying to destroy you because you protected me. I'm poison, Ronan. Everyone who gets close to me ends up hurt. You're not poison. He gripped her shoulders, forcing her to look at him. Tyler targeted you because he was a coward who needed someone to victimize. Jackson is attacking me because I made his brother disappear and he's too arrogant to let that go unanswered. None of this is your fault. Then whose fault is it? Mine. For not killing Jackson the moment I found out about his connection to Tyler. Ronan's jaw clenched. I should have eliminated the entire family tree instead of just the rotten branch. The casual way he talked about murder should have terrified her. Instead, Isla felt a twisted sense of safety. This man would burn the world down to keep her safe, and part of her loved him even more for it. What are you going to do? She asked. End this permanently. His eyes went cold, calculating. Jackson thinks he can intimidate me by attacking my home. He's wrong. I'm going to show him exactly what happens when someone threatens what's mine. How? Better you don't know the details. Ronan's thumb brushed her cheek. I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Isla searched his face. She should be running screaming from this life, from this dangerous man who solved problems with violence. But she tried running once already, and all it got her was nearly killed by Tyler. At least with Ronan, the violence wasn't directed at her. It was protecting her. I trust you, she said. Just promise me you'll be careful, that you'll come back to me. Always. He kissed her forehead, soft and gentle. I have too much to live for now. The next 3 days were torture. Ronan left the penthouse every morning, came back late every night, tension radiating from him in waves. He was planning something big, coordinating with his people, moving pieces on a chessboard Isla couldn't see. She wanted to help, wanted to be useful, but there was nothing she could do except wait and worry. On the 4th morning, everything changed. Isla was making coffee when Ronan's phone rang. She watched his face transform as he listened, watched the dangerous satisfaction bloom in his eyes. It's done, he said after hanging up. Jackson Hayes was arrested by federal agents an hour ago. Drug trafficking, money laundering, conspiracy. The evidence is comprehensive and completely legitimate. Isla's hands shook around her coffee mug. You had him arrested? Not killed? I had a federal case built against him. Ronan moved closer. Marcus has been on the DEA's radar for years. I just accelerated their timeline and provided additional evidence they couldn't ignore. Legal evidence? Completely legal. His smile was sharp. I told you, I have legitimate business interests. Not everything I do involves violence. She set down the mug before she dropped it. You did this for me. Went through legal channels instead of just making him disappear like Tyler. I did this because Jackson needed to be stopped permanently. Ronan cupped her face. Killing him would have started a war with his organization. This way, he goes to prison for 20 years minimum, and his entire operation collapses without firing another shot. Isla felt tears burning. You're trying to be better. Because of me. I'm trying to build something better. Because of us. He pulled her close. I want a life with you, Isla. A real life. And that means being smarter about how I handle threats. She buried her face in his chest, overwhelmed by how much this dangerous man was willing to change for her. I love you. The words finally came out, clear and certain. I'm in love with you, Ronan Cross. And it terrifies me, but it's true. His arms tightened around her. I love you too. I've since you reorganized my library and argued that mysteries should be separate from thrillers. Despite everything, Isla laughed. They should be. Impossible, woman. But he was smiling, and she was smiling, and for the first time since the shooting, she felt like maybe they could actually have this. Have each other. Have a future that wasn't drowning in violence and fear. The next few weeks were transformation. With Jackson in federal custody and his organization dismantled, the immediate threat evaporated. Ronan and Isla moved back to the mansion. She started working at his restaurant again, but this time as assistant manager, learning the business from the inside. She was good at it, loved the challenge of managing staff and improving systems. She also started therapy. Ronan insisted, said he wanted her to have professional help processing everything she'd been through. Dr. Patterson was patient and kind, helping Isla understand that what she felt for Ronan was real and separate from trauma, helping her build confidence in herself as someone worthy of love. Ronan changed too. He was more careful, more strategic. He brought Isla into his world gradually, explaining his businesses both legal and less legal, treating her like the partner she was becoming instead of something fragile to protect. But Isla still struggled. Late at night, she'd lie awake remembering Tyler's fists, Jackson's gunfire, the constant fear that had defined her life for so long. The nightmares were brutal, leaving her shaking and terrified. Talk to me, Ronan said one night after she woke up screaming. Tell me what you need. I need to stop being so broken. Isla's voice cracked. I need to stop flinching at loud noises and panicking when you're late coming home and waiting for everything good in my life to be ripped away. You're not broken. He gathered her close. You're healing. There's a difference. What if I never fully heal? What if I'm always like this, always afraid? Then I'll be here. His voice was absolute certainty. For as long as you want me. Through every nightmare, every panic attack, every moment of fear. I'm not going anywhere, Isla. She clung to him, letting his steady heartbeat anchor her. How can you be so patient with me? Because you're worth it. Ronan tipped her face up to look at him. Because I love you. Because watching you get stronger every day, watching you reclaim your life, is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I'm still terrified, she admitted, of losing this, of losing you, of waking up and finding out this was all a dream. It's not a dream. He kissed her softly. It's real. We're real. And I will spend however long it takes proving that to you. Months passed. Isla grew stronger, more confident. She took over management of 2 of Ronan's restaurants, implemented new systems that increased profits. She reconnected with old friends, started building a life that was hers, not defined by fear or abuse or hiding. Ronan continued running his empire, but differently. More legitimate businesses, fewer violent solutions. He was building something that could last, something that wouldn't require constantly looking over his shoulder. They talked about marriage, about future, about building something permanent together. But Isla wasn't ready yet. Still needed time to trust that this happiness was real and lasting. Then one evening, 6 months after Jackson's arrest, Ronan took Isla to the penthouse rooftop. The city spread out below them, glittering and alive under the night sky. "I have something for you." He pulled out a small box, and Isla's heart stopped. "Ronan, I'm not ready for. It's not what you think." He opened it to reveal a key. "This is to a loft downtown. 2 bedrooms, lots of light, hardwood floors. It's yours." She stared at the key, confused. "Mine? I don't want you to stay with me, because you have nowhere else to go." His voice was serious, sincere. "I want you to stay because you choose to. So this is your place. Your name on the lease, your space. You can move in tomorrow if you want, or you can stay with me. But either way, you have a choice." Isla looked at the key glinting in the moonlight, then back at Ronan's face. He was giving her freedom, an escape route, a way out if she ever needed it. Most men would be tightening their grip after 6 months together, making her more dependent. But Ronan was doing the opposite, proving once again that he was nothing like Tyler, nothing like any man she'd ever known. "You're an idiot," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "What?" She closed his hand around the key, pushing it back toward him. "I don't want my own place. I don't want escape routes or safety nets or ways out. I want to wake up next to you every morning. I want to come home to you every night. I want to build a life with you, not separate from you. Isla, I choose you." She gripped his shirt, pulling him closer. "Not because I'm trapped or dependent or have nowhere else to go. Because I love you. Because you make me braver than I ever thought I could be. Because I want forever with you, and I'm finally strong enough to believe I deserve it." His smile was brilliant, transforming his usually serious face into something younger, lighter. "Forever is a long time." "Good." She pulled him down for a kiss. "Because I'm not going anywhere. Not anymore. Even when I'm overprotective and controlling and drive you crazy. Especially then. Because underneath all that, you're just terrified of losing me. And honestly, it's kind of adorable watching a dangerous crime boss turn into a protective mother hen." Ronan laughed, the sound rich and genuine. "Mother hen? I've been called many things, but never that." "Well, get used to it." Isla grinned. "You're stuck with me now. Best thing I've ever been stuck with." He kissed her again, deeper this time, and Isla felt the last of her walls finally crumble completely. The next few months were pure happiness. Isla thrived at the restaurants, eventually taking over operations for all 5 of Ronan's dining establishments. She had a gift for it, for managing people and solving problems and creating systems that worked. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was excelling. Ronan continued transforming his empire. More legitimate ventures, strategic partnerships, using his power for things beyond violence. He funded community centers, created job programs, became known for more than just being feared. He was building a legacy he could be proud of. Their relationship deepened too. No more holding back, no more fear. They fought sometimes about stupid things like whether mysteries belonged with thrillers or Ronan's tendency to send security with her everywhere. But they always talked it through, always chose each other, always remembered what they'd survived to get here. One night, almost a year after the morning Isla tried to leave in the emerald dress, Ronan came home from a business meeting looking troubled. Isla was in the library, curled up with a book, and immediately knew something was wrong. "What happened?" She set the book aside. He sat beside her, taking her hand. "Jackson Hayes died in prison today, stabbed by another inmate over a drug deal gone wrong." Isla waited for fear to flood her, for panic about retaliation or new threats. But all she felt was a strange sense of closure. "Is it really over then?" "It's over." Ronan pulled her onto his lap. "Tyler's gone. Jackson's gone. There's no one left to come after you. After us." She corrected, wrapping her arms around his neck. "We're a team, remember? After us." He agreed, kissing her temple. "Which means we can finally stop looking over our shoulders and just live." "What does that look like?" "Living? Whatever we want it to." His hands settled on her waist. "Marriage, if you're ready. Kids someday, if you want them. Growing old together and arguing about library organization until we're 90. Isla felt tears prick her eyes, but they were happy tears this time. "I want all of it. With you." "Yeah?" His voice went soft, vulnerable in a way only she ever got to hear. "Yeah." She cupped his face. I want forever, Ronan. The messy, complicated, beautiful forever we're building together. He kissed her then, slow and deep and full of promises. When they finally broke apart, both breathless, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. I've been carrying this around for 3 months, waiting for the right moment. He opened it to reveal a stunning ring, simple and elegant and perfect. Marry me, Isla. Choose me forever, not just for right now. She looked at the ring, then at his face, then back at the ring. A year ago, she'd been broken and terrified and convinced she'd never deserve happiness. Now she was strong and loved and being offered everything she'd ever wanted. Yes. The word came out clear and certain. Yes, I'll marry you. Ronan's hands shook slightly as he slid the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly, catching the light and throwing rainbows across the library walls. I love you, he said against her lips. Thank you for not running away that morning. Thank you for staying, for fighting, for choosing us. Thank you for making me believe I was worth choosing. Isla kissed him fiercely, for seeing me when I was invisible, for saving me and then helping me save myself. They made love right there in the library, surrounded by books organized by color and years of patient rebuilding. And afterward, tangled together on the leather couch, Isla thought about that morning in the emerald dress. How close she'd come to running. How different her life would be if Ronan had let her walk out that door. What are you thinking about? Ronan asked, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on her spine. That dress. She smiled. The one that wasn't leaving the house. Best decision I ever made. Stopping you that morning. Best decision I ever made was staying. She propped herself up to look at him. You saved my life twice, Ronan. Once from Tyler, and once from myself. You saved mine too. He tucked her hair behind her ear. Gave me something worth being better for. Worth building a real life for. 3 months later, they got married in the mansion gardens. Small ceremony, close friends only. Isla wore emerald green, a callback to that fateful morning. Ronan cried when she walked down the aisle, and she cried when he promised to love and protect her forever. Her father didn't come. He died years ago from the same alcoholism that had made her childhood hell. But she didn't need him anymore. She had Ronan, had found family in his people, had built a life so far beyond anything she'd imagined possible. The reception was beautiful, dancing and laughter and toasts that made her blush. But Isla's favorite moment came late in the night when she and Ronan snuck away to the library, their library, where everything had changed. No regrets? Ronan asked, pulling her close. Not a single one. She kissed him softly. You? Only that I didn't find you sooner. That you suffered alone for so long before calling me. I found you exactly when I was supposed to. Isla believed that now. Believed in timing and fate and second chances. Everything I went through led me here. To you. To us. I wouldn't change it. Even the hard parts? Especially those. Because they taught me I'm stronger than I knew. That I deserve love and respect and happiness. That I'm worth fighting for. You are. Ronan's voice was fierce. You're worth everything. Years later, when people asked how they met, Isla would smile and say he saved her life. And Ronan would correct her, say she saved his. The truth was they saved each other. Two broken people who found wholeness in the spaces between their scars. The emerald dress stayed in Isla's closet, a reminder of the morning she almost ran. She never wore it again, didn't need to. But sometimes she'd look at it and remember the terrified woman who'd tried to sneak out at dawn, convinced she didn't deserve the love waiting for her downstairs. That woman was gone now. In her place was someone stronger, braver, loved beyond measure. Someone who'd learned that home isn't a place. It's a person. And hers was waiting for her, always, with open arms and promises of forever. From desperate escape to destined forever. From fear to fierce love. From running away to running toward her future. Isla's journey proves that the scariest choice can lead to the greatest love. Want more heart-stopping tales of danger, redemption, an impossible romance that'll leave you breathless? Smack love stories.